Greetings to the best family on YouTube. Well, that's our opinion here, at least at Carrier Bury, our wonderful and fantastic, and dare I say, the best EDC family. I'm your host, Prophet, and with me, as always, is the Professor. And we thank you so much for joining us for yet another EDC video. Okay, once again, we have a first impression and unboxing on the table in front of us here. Pretty cool. What does that mean? Well, it means it again is time for another shorter version of our beloved Carry or Bury game.
Carry or Bury.
Mini game.
If the item in question becomes more need heavy and less nail heavy, it will win our mini game. And that means the item will be carried by either myself, Professor, Cuz, Herc, maybe even Chaos, who knows, for at least 30 days, right? So it's playing for its chance to be carried. It's not the full game where we're recommending it for purchase. If you're new, please feel free to back out now, but hit the like button first, right? And watch our video number 20, which is our rules remix of both the full-length reviews and these mini Carrier Bury first impression unboxing games. Now, of course, that will actually help you understand not only these videos, but all of our content, right? Okay, so the EDC gear today, right? Let's see. Woo! What will we be opening up today, my EDC family? It is going to end up being this little guy here, the Kizer Begleiter XL, okay, which is pretty darn cool. The particular model is V like Victor, 5458, C like Charlie, 1. Okay, that's what we have on the table for you today. Pretty darn cool. The full name of the knife, though, is pretty interesting. The full name, right here, is the Kizer Azo Vanguard Begleiter XL Button Lock, right? 4-inch knife. And this one is in the, I believe, the green micarta, but we'll find out in a moment. Whew, I bet you were all wondering if I was going to start rapping again, right? No, I'm not, folks. That's really what this wonderful little knife is. There's the back of it for you all. Now, obviously, we always do a quick disclosure. Today's no different. Our knife today that we'll open up here in a moment has been purchased by us locally without any help or discounts from any retailer or maker. This particular knife was bought by us on Amazon. Again, as most of you know, we've purchased a bunch of popular knives that had ratings above 4.5 stars. We got a huge bin of them here at the compound, and we're randomly grabbing one out to do these videos. These are knives we normally would not have purchased for our personal collections, right? To grow together in this EDC family, we've got to change a little bit, right? We've got to be different. This particular knife, I believe, was about $100 USD plus tax, just under actually. So currently as of filming, I believe they're $97 on Amazon, and they're about the same at your favorite retailer, okay? Pretty darn cool. And there is another version of this particular XL knife, and I believe it's the blacked out version or the all black version. Feel free to check that out. As you all know, before we get to the unboxing, we always like to have that Prophet's Pocket Check, which, as you know, is time for Show Me the Flipper. Let's take a peek and see what Prophet was carrying today. Now, I was at my normal day job today. So normally I have a belt that's full of items. This guy is, oh goodness, this one was one of them. This little guy here, you've seen Herc do a first impression on the channel himself. He purchased one of these. I handled it and I immediately knew that I needed one. This here is the Olight Arcfield Pro Ultra. Yeah, that's another mouthful. I've got it locked right now, but it's got its normal Olight 1400 lumens at the top end of that spectrum there. It has a green laser, which is pretty neat. But most importantly, it has a UV light. So when I'm at my day job and we're looking at vehicle engines, things like that nature, it's very handy to look for leaks, things like that. It's also really comfortable and easy to use. You can lock it, so you're not super concerned about anything. And I picked up this little case on Amazon for my other Arcfield Pro, and it fits okay. It's not perfect. In fact, I actually dropped it and broke the bottom out of it, but it still works just fine. So that was my flashlight that I carried today. I also carried this wonderful little guy today. This is the Microtech Signature Tech Ultra Tech Tonto single edge version. We've actually had this knife on the channel. It's a really, really great knife. As you can see, EDC family, it has been getting a lot of use at work, cutting up boxes, things like that. Perfect. But I also had, oops, let's keep that in the frame here for you. I also carried my little iPods, right? I know you younger people are gonna tease me for that. And because I purchased the Arcfield Ultra Pro, I actually brought this bad boy. This was a gift from our channel's very good friend and knife maker over at Herc Knives. And that comes from Herc himself. And that's hercknives@gmail.com. He gave this to us as a gift the last time he was on the channel. And of course, you can't really not bring this bad boy to the job site and whip it out when you need to really cut something. Where's your pocket piece, Prophet? Well, I actually used my pocket piece in a ring version today. I've got a 1909 Indian head penny. I'm sorry, I got a 1909 Indian head $2.50 gold coin that, you know, was a nice little signet ring for me today. Amazing. And that was Prophet's Pocket Check. Thank you all for handling that with me. As we've gotten through that, folks, we like to wrap this section up talking about the name of the knife or the EDC item in question. Again, the Kizer Begleiter XL button lock knife. Whoo, baby. What does the name, or in this case, the names mean? Let's start with Azo. Azo is actually the maker, or in this case, the designer of the particular knife. Azo Mai. Now, I may not be pronouncing that correctly, which in that case, I apologize profusely. I mean no disrespect. I can't help but not respect this wonderful designer. In fact, such a wonderful designer that it actually flows through his blood. His daughter is now also a designer for Kizer and other wonderful knife companies. Pretty darn cool. So that's the Azo portion of the knife. What was the next portion, right? Vanguard. Now, Vanguard has a couple of meanings according to the Webster Dictionary. One is going to be the forefront of an action or a movement. Two, the troops moving at the head of an army. Pretty neat. Now, Begleiter or Begleiter means companion in English. And XL, that one I think we all can understand. XL means extra large. And a lot of us in America know that, right? That we can all laugh about that. Because we don't have a professor's portal, we're going to move right into the Knowledge is King section, which today we're going to talk a little bit about the history of the company. Before we do that, we like to do these mini game sections with a little granny deal, with checking in with Prophet's granny. And we're going to do that right now. So as Professor gets that Knowledge is King icon set for all of you, letting you know where we are in video, here's what Granny's quote of the week is. Now, as many of you have come to love this part of our content, you must remember that Granny does have some unusual sayings, idioms, proverbs, and parables. But even though they're a bit off, yeah, they can still have some hidden meaning. In regards to a companion tool like we have here on the table today, I can recall one particular saying. This saying had me a bit stumped for a while, but as I get older, it makes a little bit more sense. She would say this all the time. A belt is only as useful as its buckle. A chain is only as strong as its links. But Prophet, sweetheart, a belt can't be used at all without your pants that have the links.
Granny? She is so silly.
You mull that over, EDC family, yeah. All right, so since it's the mini game, we're going to keep everything shorter than normal. We're here for knowledge, and we need to open the knife to start playing with it at the same time, right? So let's do that, and then we will start talking a little bit about the company. Box is empty here. What do we got? A little bag of screws pops right out at us. A little sticker that says Kizer Friday Club. This is pretty cool. I just learned about this doing the research for this video, actually. Let's see here. Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. Let's see. How are we going to get you out of there? Ugh. Yeah, sometimes you need the right tools for the job, right? This is pretty neat. What is this? Interesting. Usage and care, warranties, Kizer's product classes. I mean, you got to say, you can say what you want about Kizer. You get a nice microfiber towel that has their logo on it. That's pretty cool. And here is the knife. Let's open this little guy. There we go. We've got some silica in here with the knife. And we'll put all this away. Again, you've got some extra hardware, which I think is one of the coolest things that you can get from a knife company. We're going to put all of this back in the box. And we're going to just put that here for now out of the way. And let's get, wow, that actually, you all know that I have large hands. I came right out. Oh, she has got something on her already. Let's grab a microfiber here. What is that? Oh, that looks like oil. Yeah, a nice coat of fresh oil appears to be on this knife. I kind of dig that. You know, make sure that you're not going to have any rusting or anything like that. So I thought this was the OD green version, folks. This is the blacked out version. That is my fault. When you buy so many of these, sometimes you forget which ones that you put in the shopping cart. Really interesting, actually. Let's take a look at centered here. We are dead centered. Not bad. This is, again, the Begleiter XL, part of the Vanguard collection. The steel on this one, I believe, is 154 cm. And EDC family, remember, we always, 100% on the channel, always point to knifesteelnerds.com. And knifesteelnerds.com has one of the most wonderful steel folks in the world. We call that person Doc Steel, and that's Dr. Laren Thomas. All right, we're supposed to be quick, right? So let's kind of get into a little bit here. Typically, I do some research on a company, folks, when I'm going to do the Knowledge is King section that we're in right now, and I formulate my own thing. We're going to do it a little bit different today because I was blown away reading the About Us section about Kizer here, which I think is just absolutely one of the coolest things ever. So let's kind of talk about that. When you go to kizerknives.com, okay, you end up at a really cool webpage. They've done an excellent job to show you kind of some of the really neat things about Kizer. So they've got obviously that monthly knife club thing that we kind of talked about a little bit that comes in that pamphlet when you buy one of their knives. I don't know exactly what that's about, but if this knife or another Kizer product gets carried full time and we do a full carrier-bury game on it, it is going to be really interesting at what we choose to talk about. Now, in their About Us section, they say, we start with our journey with this question: how to make the right gears for you and me? Question mark. The only way to make the right gears for any situation and environment is to do it the hard way. No shortcuts, no circumvent. From concept to design, from design to manufacture, we take each and every step the hard way, the right way. Then they go into chapter 2, which states our R&D center is an international engineering lab. I mean, when you say lab, EDC family, I think of like scientists, lab coats, the whole nine. We work with designers around the globe to turn concepts into realities. Our R&D center has a full industrial line, up-to-date software, cutting-edge 3D printing lab, state-of-the-art CNC machineries, on-site testing lab, and all of the necessities for designing and testing products until we've arrived at a reliable, dependable, efficient process with a trustworthy result. We do not compromise, no matter how long the process may take. Chapter 3, manufacturing. 50 meters. That's the distance between our R&D lab and our manufacturing line. Our R&D members work directly with both designers and our craftsman team, combining with our precision machines. The seamless integration and collaboration allow us to innovate and improve. Partnership is at their core value, and that's in their chapter 4. Now, I'm going to stop at 3 because obviously this is all the words from their website. This isn't the first Kizer knife I've held. In fact, we've actually buried a Kizer knife, the Kizer Cormorant, on this channel. And that kind of put a bad taste in a lot of Kizer fans' mouths. And a lot of people reached out to us and talked to us about that. But let's be honest, there's a lot more knives that Kizer makes. They work with some of the best designers. The reason that I wanted to read you their story is because most of the time when I read a knife manufacturer's story, it's, we started in this year and we work with the best. I really appreciated hearing how they really put so much into what they're doing. They have shops and places from London to China, obviously, and in the US. In fact, a lot of people in the United States will say that Kizer's line of knives is really rivaling even a lot of United States manufacturing processes. Let's see if that holds up, right? Now, that will get us through our Knowledge is King portion of the segment. We learned a little bit about Kizer, right? We learned a little bit about their core values, a little bit about what's important to them. And it sounds like everything from the design to the manufacturing process, really it's partnership, right? Which the partnership with Mr. Azomai and his family with the design, right, of some of their knives is pretty darn cool. How cool? Well, we'll let you decide. Check out their website, check out their knives. Again, this is not a sponsored video. I was impressed with their website. We'll just say that. Now, as you all know, Professor is going to get rid of the little icon of Knowledge is King, which will move us into the Professor's Particulars section. Okay? I know Professor loves this section because it's all about them stats, baby. All about the knife and me. Well, okay, that's enough, Prophet. We all know that I can't sing. I get it. You all know that this isn't our full-length game, so these are not going to be the most accurate stats in the world, but I'll do the best that I can here. We're going to turn on our little scale here, and we're going to make sure that you can see it, and we're going to attempt to weigh the knife. Just over 5 ounces, 5 and 29 thousandths of ounces. So we'll just call it 5 ounces. That's a little bit easier. So we're just over 5 ounces, right? So that's pretty heavy. That's a heavy piece of knife. But what are you getting for blade length, right? What does that get you? Well, let's find out here. Let's find out what that's going to get us. All right, we are set at 0 inches here. And we are going to measure this Kizer blade. Oh, let's see if I can get it. Well, did I do that right? Let's see if I can get the tip in there. So you have just under 4 inches of knife here, and the cutting edge is going to be, and again, folks, this is me at the table, just over 3 3/4 of an inch. So you're getting under 4 inches of knife for over 5 ounces of weight. Is that acceptable? I've seen worse, but when you're talking about such a big knife, I've seen better as well. So let's keep that in mind. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the material. We talked about the blade material. Again, that's 154 cm steel. We have a very, very nice drop point style blade. It does have a flat grind. Okay. This finish is really interesting. It's hard. It looks almost to me like a PVD coated stonewash finish. I could be wrong on that, but that's kind of what it looks like to me. Pretty interesting. Let's see what we got for the blade width on this guy. Okay. Oops. Let's see here. Give it a couple places here. So we're actually about 124, 125 thousandths of an inch total blade width there. Kind of keep that in mind. So it's not a huge piece of blade stock. You do have quite a bit of jimping. It might be hard for the camera to pick that up. The jimping goes up very far, which I'm going to be honest with you, I really like. We do have a button lock type knife, flipper, button lock, and you also have thumb studs on both sides, which I really like. Your pocket clip is going to be deep carry. You are going to see about that much of the knife sticking out of your pocket, which is not a lot. Pretty darn cool. This one does have a steel frame liner, okay? And again, it's just over 5 inches. For the carry, it looks like, can that be moved? It's hard to tell. I don't think the clip has the indents here, but it looks like you could move it if you wanted to. Right now, it's right hand tip up carry. Okay. You got the thumb studs again and the flipper. It is running on bearings. I can hear them and feel them, which you kind of need for a blade this big. Again, we will have much more information on this knife if it passes our carrier-bury mini game. One more important thing, the designer, again, is Azomai. Country of origin, China, and it is an EDC knife. Pretty cool. You folks will see I've been kind of playing with it a little bit as we get moving. You know we'll do the full stats when we do the full review, but I believe we kind of got the point out there. Get it, folks? Huh? The point? We got the point across? Yeah. Okay, it's everyone's favorite time, because after my long, lengthy talking, we know that once the comparison icon or comparison license plate comes up, we know that we're very close to the game. Now, again, these knives I wasn't going to carry, so I wasn't sure what to put on the table. When I heard XL, I figured, oh, it's going to be a larger knife. So I picked up a couple of my larger knives. This is the custom dub from Phantom Steelworks. The dub is going to be a lot thicker, okay, and it does have a little bit different geometry. But overall, the length is not terribly different. I mean, you've got maybe a 3/4 of an inch different on the Kizer, but the thickness is definitely there. Okay, let's take a look at another larger knife. In fact, another XL knife, right? Pretty cool. And this one comes from a brand we all know and love, Spyderco. This is their Manic XL. And let's take a look at these two next to each other. Now that's a comparison almost. Obviously, when dealing with Spydercos and dealing with Kizer, they're not always the same peas in the pod. You've got a much thinner blade profile here on the Kizer. You have the steel liner locks on both of these knives. You have a button lock opposed to Spyderco's compression style lock here. Okay. You have two knives that have the really good flat grind on them. They both have a couple different opening styles. Very, very similar in size. One of them's a little thinner, but if any of you have handled the Manic XL, okay, you are going to know how that looks. Now, look at that, though. Looking at them from the clip side, the thickness, though, is definitely there. Okay. I brought another XL knife out for you folks. This here is the AK-74 by Boker, the XL version of their, I laugh every time. How they can get a spring to make an automatic AK knife. Look at that. I love an EDC family. All right. Now, obviously, this Boker is really a giant, so it's not much of a comparison. But it is the XL version of the Boker, right? So I wanted to bring it out. I wasn't quite sure what to expect with the Begleiter. And I know I'm most likely butchering that name, folks, so forgive me. And finally, another XL knife, the Voyager by Cold Steel. Again, it's not even in the same area. We did get one decent size. You know what we can do? I do have the Microtech on the table here, folks. We can kind of show you on a Microtech Ultratech kind of what you're working with here. And if any of you have had the Olight Gower, or Gower, we'll kind of put this in between these two for a final comparison. So you kind of get an idea, obviously, if you've held a Microtech automatic here, you are definitely going to see that really the profile almost is kind of close. Obviously apples to oranges, but just to kind of show you. All right, folks. It's time for the game you all came for, and it's time for the funny part too, because as you all know, because we don't look this up in advance or anything like that, this is all on the fly stuff. What we're going to do today is we are going to do our needs and nails. As you remember, the needs are the positives, the nails are the negatives. We will do 3 needs, 3 nails, and we'll see if a 4th comes. And if a 4th comes, or if one doesn't have quite 3, then that will be the winner. As you all remember, when we're doing this, I actually handwrite these for this segment. So we are going to put needs and nails. Okay, folks, and the first need, we're going to say fit and finish. Let's get rid of that. Let's see. All right. So we've got fit and finish there as our number 1 need. Do we have a number 2? And we are going to actually absolutely have a number 2. I really, really like the design. The design of the knife, I'm going to have to, I know it's close to fit and finish, folks, but it actually is a really nice knife. The handle's not super fat. You really can get your hands around it. It's very comfortable. We're going to absolutely go with that. So Azomai, another home run. We're just going to put Azo Design as our number 2 need because the design is awesome. All right, folks. Another thing that I've been waiting to say on this one is the action. This thing actually, it comes flying out. You really don't have to worry about much using it. The action is definitely going to be a need. We've got our 3 needs, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's see if we have 3 nails. One thing I do not like about it, and a lot of you probably seen this coming, is the weight to blade ratio. It's a little bit heavy for my likes on carrying, the weight to blade ratio, right? Definitely is a little bit heavy, for sure. Another nail, ladies and gentlemen, is on the pocket clip. This is kind of a pet peeve of mine. When you have a smooth or a surface that isn't completely smooth, like this micarta surface, this is going to move around in your pants a little bit. There's not enough tension on the pocket clip. And you're also, if it is in that right spot, it's going to tear because this is going to catch. What I really like to see normally is when they do this type of thing and they're going to have areas for the pocket clips, is it's just something that I want to see something there that kind of gives a little bit more stability. So we're just going to put pocket clip movement or pocket clip tension. We'll just say that, but we kind of know that means more here, right? And again, I might carry this and that might not be correct. Another thing that I am going to say that I think I really don't like, and that's going to be towards this. This knife is absolutely designed for both hands. You know, you got your left hand design so you can open it left hand, still get your finger on that button lock to get her closed. flip it with your left hand. But if you want to carry it with your left hand and you move it over to the two holes here, notice how you don't have a little area in this screw area where if they're going to be doing all this chamfering and all this work like they've been doing here, it'd be really nice if they were to chamfer out an area for this pocket clip so it actually went inside the handle. As you can see, it pokes out quite a bit. It was kind of lazy how they designed that part. How difficult would it have been for them to mill in a little area on both sides where that pocket clip can go in? That way, not only is it going to bring the pocket clip in more, but it will give it a lot more retention. So when you get this in your pocket, like I was trying to say, it's going to catch right here. Okay, this part right here. Let's see if I can get it on camera. Right there. You see where I'm catching? It's not going all the way up, right? It's catching. That is going to tear some things up in the pocket. So we have two different nails on pocket clip design. We're going to call this one, we'll call it pocket clip. What do we call that? Pocket clip. Uh-oh. And we kind of know what that means. We've got two pocket clip issues on this knife. One for left-handed use, one for just the laziness of the design on how they put it in there, one for retention, and one for no air. They could have easily done some different design work on this to help that along a little bit. So we do have our three needs and our three nails. It's a bit heavy on this knife. It's definitely going to be a bit heavy, and it's definitely not it's not the best balance spot that I like to see. It's kind of on the lower end of where your index finger comes. I don't want to hold a knife this low. I just don't. So there are some design flaws with the weight to blade ratio. They could have done some more milling and skeletonizing inside the steel liners. Heck, they could have lost another few grams just by cutting out or milling out this area where the pocket clip goes. That's kind of lazy, to be honest. I really don't like that. Well, let's see here. Just after playing with this knife, you know, we've talked about the pros and cons. We're going to go ahead and carry this knife for sure. And I'm going to tell you why. One of the biggest reasons I'm going to carry this knife, it's not the action. That helps. It's not the fit and finish. That helps. It's not the cool design. That helps. Yeah, there's some things I don't like. We'll see how that transfers in the long-term review. But number 4, 100% what I absolutely love about this knife is how comfortable it is to hold. And I'm assuming it's going to be to use. The jimping, there are no hot spots that I can feel. It's really good. You get a little bit where this raised clip is. Again, I'm going to ding you guys for a 4th time there. That is just kind of lazy. Now, we are going to say it 100%. This little guy is getting carried because it is comfortable. Let's go. Get both cameras, that really messy stuff here, and let's 1, 2, 3, boop. Gosh, I love that. It's pretty cool. EDC family, we are carrying this little guy. We're going to see if it can actually withstand the rigors of the compound and the work life that we have. We're going to see how she holds up. 100% carrying this guy. We're going to see how it goes. Now, guys, about our Kizer today here, our open first impression box opening of our Kizer. A little bit about that and all other knives and tools we've had on our channel. Remember, folks, we're YouTubers, we're not lawyers. Don't ever get legal advice from anyone that isn't a professional, but seriously, please look into and know about your local knife laws. Not sure how? Well, it doesn't hurt to visit, and if at all possible, support AKTI.org. They are the American Knife and Tool Institute, and folks, they're on the front lines, helping us keep our freedoms and our rights. In your hands, you have the Kizer Begleiter that I've completely butchered the name. To all of our German viewers, I am so sorry, and I'm sure some of you will help me fix that, right? But unless your hands are not stuck, unless your hands are stuck in wax, unless they're stuck in your Halloween candy, unless they're stuck in ice cream or anything sticky or even carbonite. You'll be able to find us online, right? Pretty easily. How? You just go ahead and type in Carrier Bury at your favorite social media app or site and follow us, right? Show us what's in your pocket. We want to see it. Tell us what knife or piece of EDC gear you want us to review, or even what your favorite items are, or what you're looking forward to Christmas to getting maybe, right? We want to hear from all of you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, folks, for more content. We would appreciate that, right? Again, we've always got some fun stuff for you, right? We've got our Carry or Bury stickers. We have our Carry or Bury, ooh, we'll get backwards there, right? We have our Carry or Bury fantastic large, extra large, right? Because it covers all those knives. Our extra large microfibers. We have our smaller microfibers. We have our lanyards. We've got all kinds of good stuff, right? As you can see, we've got stuff. So folks, with all this stuff, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Honestly, remember, we really are wanting for us, the EDC family, to be the most prepared family on YouTube and beyond, not just YouTube, right? Until next time, EDC family, keep those blades sharp. Keep those flashlights charged. And if you're like Prophet, right? We know you are. Some of you maybe. Keep those Band-Aids close. Remember, you are the best tool in your daily EDC loadout, EDC family. May God bless you. We will see you next time.